What it is, what it is, what it is. This is your boy Hip Hop Karma. You are tuned into the Random Podcast Show, and today I have a special guest. And my special guest is, go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Teddy Benson, Mr. T.E. Double.
Shah, the girl go crazy.
He Big Teddy in the building.
That's right, man. So how did you get that name, man? How did you come up with that one? Is that your real name?
It's not my real name. It's a name I gave myself. It's basically the accumulation of all my greatness.
Okay.
As a kid growing up in the '80s, to the '90s, I always liked Family Matters. I always liked Steve Urkel. He was always my guy. You feel me? Like,
okay.
Because I was weird. You know what I mean? Like I did odd things that made me stand out. So I always liked Steve Urkel. And then when he started getting into the time machine and he became Stefan, I was like, this is the same person, but something is just clicking to make him just be the best that he can be.
Right, a little bit more fly.
A little bit more everything. You know what I mean? So when you look in the mirror and you judge yourself and you say, hey, I could be a little more taller, a little more shorter, a little more skinny, a little more fatter, whatever it is you're saying to yourself. I could have tattoos here or what it is there. To me, Teddy Benson is that. It's the accumulation of all my greatness. When I look in the mirror and I don't have to say, I wish I could be or I wish I could do. It's the person that wakes up and goes and get it. So I just live that lifestyle. There's no more anything else. Teddy Benson is who I am.
When did Teddy Benson get created? When did that alias get created?
Shortly after my birthday, like 2013.
Okay. Is that around the time that you started doing music, or?
No, I started doing music as a kid.
Okay.
I started in the choir. Started singing. We used to do the performances every Sunday in front of the church.
Oh, you was in the choir?
Like I was in the choir.
Okay.
Like Baptist church. You know what I mean? Like the whole robes and everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I never forget. I was in the front one day during service and. We used to have a guitar player that used to play a double-headed guitar.
Okay.
So I used to always want to be as close as to the front.
With the two necks?
Yeah, with two necks.
Okay.
So, and you know how Baptist church is, you know how they get down. The organ players, and, so I always wanted to be as close to that as possible. Plus our choir director too, she was like super fire. So the energy in the front was the best. And when especially when you're in church and you're getting that energy, you give it back. And a lady looked over at me and she said, little boy, you finna be in the choir. And it was a wrap from there. The next week, I was in the choir learning
Did your family, any relatives were in the choir, or was it just you?
It was just me. I got a big family, but my grandma is the one that was like, I'm gonna veer left and do something different. Okay. It wasn't until like people started dying as I was getting older that I started realizing, I got a lot of family members. All these people that was coming over through the years was actually cousins and not just high and by. Like I got a lot of family. So but in my immediate family, I'm the only one that was like drawn to the streets and drawn to performance and drawn to being in the front and center. Everybody else is like, I can sit in the house and
be chilling. Got you.
Need life.
So when did you start getting into music then, like rapping per se?
I had transitioned from the gospel and the whole church life like around 11 or 12. Like that's when you start seeing gang culture. Like I like this. And right around like 7th or 8th grade was like I made a decision to myself like gangsters don't sing. You can't be no
gangsters don't dance, we boogie.
Gangsters don't dance, we boogie. You know what I mean? Like you can't be that. Even though my brain was like thinking like things like if I blended punk rock with rap, that would be like the future. Like you would make so much money if you would some different shit. But subconsciously, I wanted to be a gangster. Like I'm not a gang member to this day. You know what I mean? I tried it. I did the gangs, but it's just not for me.
Right.
But that was a big decision. It went from like spending nights in the garage, like singing and practicing, to like now I'm finna start trying to make raps. You know what I mean? Like then I start getting into like Def Poetry Jam, which really helped a lot to like put my
HBO and shit like that. Okay.
I'll be that kid sneaking HBO at like 12 at night. You know what I mean? So like Def Poetry Jam like really helped me transition. Like, oh, this is a dope way. So I started writing like that, and then
Okay. So did it kind of start off as poetry then? Were you kind of writing poetry first?
I was kind of writing poetry first, and
Okay.
I'm like ADHD, so in class I was the kid that always be like, you know what I mean,
Wow.
like drumming on the table, you know what I
Same.
mean, beating, and then I got to lunch and I was addicted to that sound that bass makes when you hit that big ass lunch table,
Yeah,
you know, you get
yeah.
that boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom,
yeah,
boom,
yeah,
got
yeah,
that-
yeah. So you was you fucking around on the drums too at the
I was too poor for drums, bro, but you
Gotcha.
know,
But you make this shit happen.
2 pens and a pencil, and then
Yeah.
you start rapping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now I'm the centerpiece of the rap. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like they like
right.
Teddy kick that. I'm finna battle Whoop-De Woom or Whoop-De
Wow.
Woom. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
now I'm
yeah.
in the middle of the mix. Like, yeah, let's get it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
like how DJ Quick did that one year on the BET Award cipher when he kicked the freestyle on the pen and pencil.
That's hard.
You know what I mean? Like
That's hard.
that's how I got really into the rap circle. Like, and then I was like afraid to like spit. Like I was still already like practicing my little bars. You know, I
Right.
couldn't put more than a bar and a half together without going,
Right.
oh, I
shit.
think I messed up, or you know,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that was cool. But I like it, so I wouldn't rap with the group until later. I was like, I'm finna start spitting, and then start coming 4 bars at a time, and then you know stop like that's it. And then now I'm a rapper.
So was it a group of the homies, like little homies that you started rapping with? Did you ever have like a little group that you came from when you started rapping, or was it just kind of you found it by yourself and kind of went to a studio? How did that work?
I always wanted to express myself through music, so when I started my little adventure, it was really like I had support because there was people at school that I was kicking the beats for, you know what I mean? Like, so like there was always that kind of influence, but it wasn't like me and a homie was going home to like
Try and figure this shit
try
out.
and figure this shit out. Like, let's find instrumentals. I didn't even know you could do that at that point. You know what I mean? Like, I was still like making beats off of my chest. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And make a. I have 42 songs that I wrote in my head.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Off of one of these.
So when was the first time that you got to get into a studio?
It was on the East Coast. Was the first time that I got to get into a studio. So I got in some trouble. Trying to be a tough guy. I got in some trouble, and then I moved to the East Coast.
Gotcha.
And that's when my cousin was like, "I'm a rapper, so you should write music with me," because he's already on the East Coast regiment. You know, they look for new words every day in the dictionary. Like,
Damn.
Thessalonian is my word for the day, so
We finna flip this word.
I'm finna use this word. Like,
Damn.
I'm promoting Thessalonian only.
Yeah.
Sticking in petroleum. You know how they rap, but like,
Where on the East Coast was this?
I was in Massachusetts in Brockton.
Okay.
I moved from the frying pan to the fucking skillet fryer, cooked already, put me in. Like, I thought the West Coast was the hardest thing in the world. I didn't think anything outside of the West Coast could be anything lit. Like, where I'm from, Cali, and that probably kind of saved my life a little bit. You know what I mean? It put me in danger sometimes on the East Coast because it's like
That mentality.
like, bruh, don't get it twisted.
We over here too.
It's lit over here too. And then I really started experiencing people dying. Like, bro, I ain't seen Whoop-De Woof in a while.
Wow.
He died. They got him.
Wow.
Like, so like now I'm like really like now seeing ATF. Like, I never seen an ATF jacket before. Like, damn, these people really do exist. DEA jackets. Like, this ain't TV no more, right? It's real life. It's not like that in San Diego. You gotta be doing some real
crazy shit to see.
Real crazy shit in San Diego because we over police. But out there, like, you know, you can wear a jacket every 9 months out the year to cover any pistol. So I can poof you with a mask on just like every other person. So what's the description? Big jacket, mask on.
That's it. Like 90% of everybody.
90% of everybody.
So you go out there with your cousins. First time you get on the booth, is this something that you and him get to do a track together, or how's that come about?
Me, him, we start rapping, and my neighbor across the street, Andy, he made beats.
Okay. Boom.
So, and then I was trying to make beats too on the little beat machine. I couldn't never figure out how to set the tempo or nothing, but I made a fire little beat that one of the homies, his uncle owned a little CD store and a studio in the back. So he set me up, and he was like, he figured it out how to get the beat from my little MPC, and I recorded on that, and then shortly after, my neighbor was like, hey, look, we got these. So we did a song called The G Code. And because of that Juvenile, you know, that hot boy shit, that G Code, like that was one of my favorite songs as a kid, you know. So when you start rapping, you start emulating
that instrumental.
So it wasn't that instrumental, but it was like that. I wanted to make a song like that, like this is the G Code. So that was the first song that I could remember like really recording. I don't remember what I did to the beat that I made, but the beat that he made was the song that I really remember. One of the homies still hits me up to this day, like damn near 20 years later, like, bruh,
where's that track?
Where's that track at? I still remember. Shh, be quiet. This is the G Code.
That's hard. So did you stole the hook? You kind of kept the same vibe on the hook, or what?
That's the only part of the song that I remember. I ain't gonna lie. I made so much music. Like I used to go by another name, Don P. At one point where I was trying to find myself. I was like, you know, a name means so much. As you was trying to. Somebody else called me Trey P, and that's the kind of name that stuck with me all through high school and then as most of an adult. So like I tried to play around with the P, like okay, they already know me as Trey P. I branded it wearing P hats. A lot of people thought I was from Skyline, but I was like, this is not it. So finally, like I said, when I found Teddy Benson, I found me, how to express me in the music.
Did you find Teddy Benson on the West Coast or the East Coast?
I found Teddy Benson on the West Coast. It's funny that I was thinking about a name that, I think about how things are from A to Z. So a name is like, when I walk to your house and say, hey, my name is, because you're that person all the time.
Right.
Trey P, say that to your grandma. Hey, grandma, this Trey P. Or, hey, grandma, this is Don P. Or, hey, grandma, this is Teddy Benson. So I
took that into consideration a little bit.
I took that into consideration, like, how can I get away with walking into a boardroom and say that my name's Teddy Benson and I represent Whoop-de-Whoop. Not to take no shots at nobody else, and you know, like, but like it's hard to walk in and be like, yeah, my name's Lil Pump,
right?
Or you know what I mean, like,
my name's Lil Shooter.
I'm Lil Shooter, and that's what they gonna call me.
Yeah.
When you walk up and get my award, they're gonna say Little Shooter gets the Like, those are big things.
Right.
So like I took all that to an account. But one day I was getting weed from my weed man, and his name Eddie. And
shout out to Eddie.
Yeah. All right. So when I put the two together, because I always put indicators because of the amount of people that I meet, and I was like, okay, Eddie Benson, because there's a street that I met him on Benson Street, and I was like, ooh, that got a kind of a ring to it.
He said, put a T in front of it.
Ooh, let's shake that up a little bit. Ooh, Teddy Benson was born that fast, and that fast, like, oh, this is fire, you feel me? And then I started going out. At that time, I was partying a lot, and I started going out, and I was like, my name's Teddy Benson, and people would look at me and be like, ooh, Teddy Benson.
It was like a whole new person.
A whole new person. I never say my name's Teddy. I never introduce my name like that. It's always my name's Teddy Benson. First and last. So people are like, ooh,
they understand who that is.
You just gave me first and last. Well, hi, my name's Erica Miller.
Give it up to everything now.
Hi, Erica Miller. How you doing? You know, now we're in conversation. Like, but the very first time that I did it, the baddest broad was so into me, like
it was like the key.
It was like the key. Like I had a little cardigan on. You know what I mean? Like I knew I wanted to push the square look. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to be no gangster. I don't want to be. I want to be known for bars. I want to be able to go anywhere in the world. Like so, I already knew. Like I'm finna push the square look. Like this is for the normal guys. You know what I mean? So when I had a little cardigan on, no shirt, with the glasses, brand new fade. You know what I mean? She was like, ooh, wee. Teddy Benson, take my number. It was just like that.
Just like that.
Wee. And I was like, yep.
That's the name.
Next time I went out, I went and I got another reaction from a bro like that.
He said, this is the name.
This is the name.
Not only that, they don't know my real name. So when did you start taking music seriously and going, you know what, I'm going to really start doing more than one song and probably do a project or something like that?
At like 17, I really like started going hard.
Okay.
Where I started losing friends. You know what I mean? Like, I have to take this to the next level. So how do I take this to the next level? And then 18 came and I met my first mentor, Primo.
Okay.
He from the East Coast, you know what I mean? He was making beats, and we figured out a way to get me recorded, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So like, we had started a little group called Empire.
Okay.
Music passed on by yesterday's Real MCs. So now I got the ethic. So now I'm looking at my old friends like, man, y'all keep talking about y'all want to be singers,
but y'all ain't doing this shit.
Y'all ain't doing that. Y'all ain't living this. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm full amp. You know what I mean? Like I'm ready to go. I'm ready to cut off. And one of the homies, man, he kind of flaky. You know what I mean? Like you can't really depend on him.
Right.
But he just happened to know some more IROC in them.
Okay.
And one day he ended up finding out that we lived right next to each other. Like when he moved in, he was like 8 houses down the road. Like so now he pulling by like, what's up? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not to go out of the way. Now I don't have to do nothing but go home to see you. So now he pulling up.
Right.
And he like, hey man, you know I got the S'mores around the corner, homie. You know they got the studio and everything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You know I'm gonna take you over there.
Yeah.
I took him over there and I met Rex. And bro, I was so enthralled by how Rex controlled everything, like a boss. You know what I mean? Like
you saw an actual facility.
I saw a facility.
Shit.
This is what happens when you have somebody that's in charge, like really take control. Like not like a boss, like I own this, like a boss, like you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna make sure my team eat. I can see it. First night there, they like, we got a show tonight, come out. You know what I mean? Rock like, tickets $20. Give me $10 right now, and you got a ticket, and you can ride with us. Come back here at this time. I showed up at that time. Not only did I not have to drive, I got in a car with them.
Yeah.
When I got there, I thought I was gonna wait in the crowd. And it was like, nah, Woosh, you getting on the stage with us? And I was like, boom. From there, it was ground running, studio every day.
That's high.
20 hours in the studio.
So that was like the first camp that you embraced or embraced you type of shit.
That was the first camp that I was able to make real results. You know what I mean? Like it was no longer pull up, hey, listen to this, and I'm finna play an instrumental and rap with you.
We doing a show type shit.
I mean, we doing a show. Like now that you can hear a song, I can sit here and be quiet and tell me what you think of the song. I don't have to rap for you live no more. They say, oh, I fucked up. Hold on, let me restart that. You know what I mean? Like it's just real results. Excuse me. At like 18, 19, you feel me? When I found the Honest Swag camp, you know what I mean?
That's
It was over, you know what I mean? We was gone. Music every day, all day long, music.
So that's when you really, now you in there making music, making songs, being on a record, trying to put this shit out on a CD and shit like that. What was your first project called?
What was my first project called?
We just went back to the backpack.
We just went back to the backpack, bro. You know, like I got horrible memory when it comes to that. Like, you know, like trying to remember my password, bro. I gotta reset my password.
I got
often.
one password for all my shit.
I had one password for all my shit, but when they say you gotta change it, I can't remember. Was it the capital here?
Yeah.
Did I put the funny character after this one? It's the same password, but did I make this one? And then they're like, you can't use that. So because I've been using it for years, like since I had a square job, like it's the same password. Like,
do you remember that first time that you got to get on stage? Where that was? What club that was?
The first time I got on stage,
when you got to meet him at the
was at Brick by Brick.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's the first time I got on stage. I was underage. First, before the show, I got to wait in the back in the green room.
Oh, wow.
And then after the show, I had to stand outside, and the security guard was like, look, man, because they had the gate, he was like, bruh, just stand right here. You can stand right here. I understand the situation. You just can't come past this line right here. So I kicked it right there for like an hour. And then I was like, it's time to get up out of here. But I was just trying to be around the environment. You know what I mean? Like,
how was that feeling?
The feeling was like every movie you ever seen about the butterflies, bro, pop into your head. You know what I mean? Like every moment, like, bro, like it's go time right now. Like it's like sports. I've been prepared for that feeling, but for it to happen in a new medium, being up on stage, it's like singing. I can still sing when nobody's around or if I'm not recording it, great. But when it's time to showcase that, hey, you know, Teddy can still sing, it's like, it's hard to do in front of people. Like some people are great shower singers because there's no pressure. Or certain people are great rappers. You know, you record, you one of the top producers out here. So it's like, you know, like you've heard people spit the verse to you and like,
Right.
ooh, that's fire,
Right.
and then get in the booth and it's not that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like when it's go time, it's go time. You don't get no chance to be like, let me start over unless you really skilled.
So I got a question for you. How was it? How did your family kind of take it once you kind of digested that you were rapping this way and kind of rocking this way, and you kind of left that church mentality? Did they hear it and were they kind of like, hey, what's going on? Or how did they accept that?
My mom had already slid out of church first,
Okay.
and then my grandma had started getting old.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And
So it's kind of acceptable.
well, it wasn't really acceptable. I was the black sheep. Like,
Gotcha.
you know what I mean? Like, when my
Gotcha.
mom found out that I was gangbanging, she was like, I'm finna get an extra insurance policy on you. Like,
Damn.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, when she found out that I was high the first time, she was like so scared. Like, do I need
Right.
to take you to the hospital? Like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you spaced out? Are you okay? Like,
Yeah.
like, so like, I was like the black sheep. You know what I mean? Like the
Gotcha.
first one from my grandma's lineage to say, I want to go to the streets. Besides my uncle, you know what I mean? My uncle, he was always in and out of jail. So, but
Gotcha.
that's her oldest. That's one of her oldest sons. You really can't do nothing when your son is old.
So who's some of your influences? What are some of the artists that you listened to growing up? Not per se right now, but kind of like influencing that you were growing up listening to that you can like kind of go back and listen to.
I honestly, just because you said that last part messed up the whole response to the first part, because you said go back and listen to. And when I go back and listen to
Mm-hmm.
some of the old stuff, it lacks luster.
Ooh.
I'm not one of those people to say music was better these years unless we're talking about 60s, 70s music.
Okay,
Because that
okay.
sound is like just pure.
Just different.
You know,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
different. But if we're
Right.
talking about rap, there's no way that you could tell me that 80s rap
Okay.
was better than 2020 rap, because the difficulty to say new things. When they was first rapping, they was saying whatever, and people was
Just
like,
trying to make it
"Oh, that's hot."
Right.
But now, when you go back and listen to songs like "This Is Why I'm Hot," like these are the bars that I was like,
Right.
"Oh,
I thought this is why I was hot.
I thought this is why I was hot." Like this is what
Yeah.
I was listening to. Like,
Yeah.
so the caliber of artist is different and more up to speed, I think, now.
Did you grow up just listening to rap, or did you listen to the other
I listen
artists?
to everything,
Okay.
but like when Twister, like I try and go back and listen to Twister now, it's like those two, like Kill 'Em All, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
those songs, like those are fire, but the rest of it's kind of like, like, but Donkadonk, like that used to be my favorite song, bruh. When-
But it's crazy because when you're a kid, it's like, or when you're younger, you're taking the music in a different way. You're not really listening to every single word and digesting every single word of what they're saying. As you get older, you start to know what the fuck they're saying. Like, actually, that's not that dope.
Actually, that's not that dope. So there's people like that. You know what I mean? I grew up, like I said earlier, I grew up listening to Twister and Kanye, you know what I mean? Like Jay-Z and Nas, like, but to me today, like, the newer stuff that they put out is a no for sure.
Gotcha.
Like Twister's new stuff is the no for me for
Damn.
sure.
So what are you listening to now?
Like now I'm listening to Gates, you know what I mean? I'm listening to me. I listen to a lot of reggae these
Okay,
days,
okay,
you know what I
okay,
mean?
yeah.
Like
Who's the artist? Give me a reggae artist you fucking with.
Sisla is my
Yeah.
my favorite,
Okay.
because when I was like the closest I ever been to depression, like he had songs that I was like,
He's a classic
really,
artist.
and Warrior King, you know what I mean? Like Sisla
Okay.
and Warrior King, like
Okay.
they had the same vibe, so I was like really like riding around no rap for like
Right.
3 years. I listened to no rap. I didn't play it because I was like, the vibes that I'm getting from it don't make me want to be better. So I like J. Cole, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like Kendrick, you know what I
Okay.
mean? I got some Logic in there. Like
Okay.
I got like real spitters in there.
Right.
JID's in there, Rex like Raj is in my
Okay.
he's in the Dreamville camp. But you know, like I like making like different kind of music. So like I said, Kendrick is like the closest comparison. I'm more melodic, like Kevin Gates. I like that kind of cadence. You know what I mean?
Do you
But
see
full
yourself-
bars.
Have you done any reggae music, or have you?
Oh yeah, I got some fire reggae music out.
Yeah. Now, did you put it out as a project, or you do singles for reggae?
I put it out as a single. At one point in time, I had switched over when I had got really conscious, and I had stopped listening to rap. I stopped making rap when the end of my 10 year at the Island Swag Camp. I had started making reggae like influence, like nobody's doing that. You know what I mean? Nobody. This is For the Weeknd came out. He stole the whole swag that I was like on. You know what I mean? Like nobody came out with the bushy bread, the dreads, you know what I mean? Like these is like rude hair with the beard, just like crazy, you know what I mean? And nobody's doing this. So I was like, I'm finna push this rap reggae shit on them. Like they ain't gonna know when it's gonna hit him. Am I gonna rap regular or am I gonna rap in patois? You know what I mean? Which one is it gonna be? So then I decided like, if I do that, I'm gonna be a reggae artist, and that's where I have to stay. I have to stick in my lane. We had Miss Janie. I don't know if you're familiar with Miss Janie.
I think I've seen it once.
But you know, she A&R for Lil Wayne, and then for a while, when they was first building Cash Money, and she worked with Twista also. But she came in and was like, when I cut my beard, she was pissed. Like, you can't do that. You're ruining 6 months of promotion. Wow. You know what I mean? Like, these are the kind of things you got to think about. So I was like, do I really want to like rebrand myself as a reggae artist? So I switched back to making it, but I still bring it out in my music. You can hear like there's a reggae aspect in the deepness, sincerity, and simplicity of the lyrics. Like, I'm gonna be saying like crazy words or things like that, but like the simplicity of what I'm saying means a lot.
Right.
It's easy to interpret if you're esoteric.
So I have a question, and you know, this is blatant. We're gonna talk about this blatant right here. Where did you get this tattoo right here on your face? I mean, we're in the podcast. I get to ask random questions, baby.
You know, it's a hard question to ask because it depends on who I'm talking to and what length of journey they've walked into the lifestyle of what I'm talking about.
Okay, so let me just let my ignorance speak real quick. It looks like the Egyptian eye.
Oh, it is.
Which I'm kind of familiar about, but why don't you give us your expression of what it means to you?
It's gonna kind of switch up the whole conversation, but this easiest put so that we can understand where I'm going is a slap in the face of everybody who looks at it. Because regardless what you see, you have to see a fact. Like if you see a letter A, right? Like as a baby, like we're talking about people who are completely ignorant. If you see the letter A, it's not an A when you become able to read, right? So when you be like, oh, I've been seeing this whole time and I never knew that this letter was an A. Well, the symbol represents my royalty. You know what I mean? It's part of my heritage. The story comes from my heritage, which never been depicted as a black man. So that's one part that you gonna get this work. You gonna get this culture. You gonna see this royalty on my face. You gonna see that I am awakened. That this is the story of Black Jesus. Horus is Black Jesus. So in theology, just to break down all of it. Baal is one of the first gods ever, first names mentioned for Baal. You can put the apostrophe, there's other ways to spell it depending on which text you're looking at, like extra characters and stuff, but it's one of the first references for God. And then he becomes Tammuz, and later along down the line he gets demonized by the culture and he becomes Osiris, and Osiris is the Egyptian period, right? So
these are Egyptian gods that you're
these are all kind of religions. These come from Egypt. They come from the Torah. They come from Christianity. You know what I mean? Like Hokmah. The word Hokmah means wisdom. It's written in the Bible, and it always says wisdom and her in the same sentence because the word Hokmah is female. Hokmah was a female. Like if you really like doing your study, that's like why I say it's hard to answer this question because like depending on where you at. But easiest is Osiris is the keeper of the gates on the other side of heaven.
Right.
He controls heaven.
Right.
Set is his brother,
Okay.
who kills Osiris and throws his body parts across the world. He strews them across the universe.
Right.
Isis is Osiris's female consort. There's always, she's Asherah, she's Lilith, or I don't know if you're familiar with Lilith, but
This is Egyptian
she's
hieroglyphic gods that we're talking about.
these are Christianity. These transcend one theology. These are like names that you can go look up,
And other names have been used for these names.
these other names,
Gotcha,
like
gotcha.
I don't want to use the wrong word, but I believe it's called the etymology of a word.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like the history of a word.
Gotcha.
These people have been all these, like, it just keeps popping up and gets described.
James been Jane, but been Becky and Jane, but it's always been James. I got you. Yeah.
Mary it was Asherah, Lilith, Aset, you know what I mean?
That was the original version. That was the version that did
And
this.
then Mary with an I, then it became Mary with a Y.
Gotcha.
So Isis is God's consort. He's Osiris's consort. So God in Christianity has a wife.
Okay. Okay.
God gets killed by his brother, like in Clash of the Titans, where what's his name? Hades is trying to kill Zeus.
Like a Canaanite.
Yeah, like a Canaanite.
Mm-hmm.
So he's successful. Isis takes his body parts. She gets help. And I believe it's my aunt. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it's my aunt. A lot of women have her tattooed underneath her breast. She's the one with the wings. Okay. So she gets a phallus, collects the semen, and impregnates herself.
Gotcha.
So now you have Immaculate Conception, which is where Jesus comes in with Mary, who never had sexual intercourse to become a full-bodied person.
Right.
So Isis never had actual sex with Osiris. She impregnated herself. So now we have Immaculate Conception, who become Horus.
Right.
Horus then fights with Set for control over Egypt. The only difference in the story is Horus controls Lower Egypt,
right,
and Set Upper Egypt. But in Christianity, Jesus fights for upper, and the devil fights for lower, and it's an eternal battle.
Right.
Set plucks his eyeball out, and then he gets a new eyeball that's like to see into the soul, like his new energy can see into the soul, see into the truth, it can see into the being. So this is an awakening of my spiritual being. My eye is always focused. This is an acceptance of my heritage. This is
almost a third eye type of thing.
This is my third eye. This is me being able to see the truth. I've always been aware, but I've studied for the last years, reading book after book about human interaction.
Right.
So like the truth, like Thoth is the leader. I don't know if you know the proper way to say his name is Thoth, but if
I'm super familiar with Egyptian. You've lost me everything except for that part. That's the only one I was like, no, I heard that.
He's like, no, I know Thoth.
No, I haven't heard this one. I haven't heard of Thoth. That's the one.
So Thoth is the father of mathematics, written language, but it's Thoth, Thoth.
Okay.
He's a duck-billed ibis. So he's like the smartest man ever. He's been in a couple movies.
What got you into the theology and the Egyptian culture? And was it something that your family was brought up and kind of instilled in you, or was it something you found on yourself?
My family hates this, but they've learned to not this. They hate that I got my face tattooed because they're conservative.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But they hate that I'm awakened to the perception of life and energies. So when I try and share information, my mom's like, leave me alone. My word doesn't say that. Like the other day I asked her, how come a pastor has to go to seminary school? He has to study the Torah. He has to study the Quran. He has to study everything. But to be a good Christian, you just have to trust the Bible. If you ask a question, they say that's for God to know.
Right.
He'll reveal the answers later. But for you to be a pastor, to tell us how to be good Christians, to teach us how to be good Christians, you had to go study all the rest of the information.
Right.
If I say that Ish Umbala gave me the ability to be here and it's a blessing, I was hoping to get a podcast interview. I was just talking about getting interviews. And then the next day, you hit.
Right.
And then now I'm here.
Right.
Ish Umbala did it.
Right. That would be your
Confirmation.
yeah. That would be your assessment and your confirmation. Now, so this is something that you found yourself in.
This is something that I just kept paying attention to all the time. Like
This isn't something, by the way, I just want to throw this out there. This is everyday fucking knowledge that you're spitting right now.
Yeah.
This isn't shit that people are like, oh yeah, I fucking learned that in high school. No, motherfucker. You went to dive the books after high school and read about this shit. This isn't something that's everyday knowledge. So it's actually really dope that you actually have this kind of knowledge behind it and you have a reason behind it. It's really dope to know that. It's I know you said you didn't want to get too deep, but it's dope that you did get deep and some motherfuckers can actually get an insight of you as a person. Like, damn, this motherfucker is more than Teddy Benson. He's an educated Teddy Benson. You know what I'm saying? That's dope as shit. When do you see yourself evolving from Teddy Benson, or is the evolution Teddy Benson?
The evolution is Teddy Benson,
Okay.
and the consistency of being Teddy Benson in mind, body, and spirit
Okay.
is what the evolution is.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like, Teddy Benson read all the books, went to school for psychology, has already got the credits to know that this is a territorial response when somebody says something to you like, hey, my day was nice and I got a new car. And they say, oh, I got a new car once and, you know what I mean? Like this, I know how to identify it, but it doesn't stop me from doing it. So at that point in time, technically, I would not be being Teddy Benson because that's not the best that I could be. So the actual application of me saying, you know what, they wanted to share with me their experience for the day, and I should not make it about me. Later on, because this is a two-way street, I can respond with, let me tell you a story that reminds me, however I segue myself back into that response. But knowing these kind of things, it doesn't stop me from arguing with my lady or having or losing my temper and getting into fights because I practiced. I've learned, I sat there, I studied, I read the books, but you know, the application, the real life application, sometimes it fails. So for me, the evolution is just getting better at the application of being Teddy Benson.
So let's talk about some of the music that you got working on in 2021, man. You got any new projects that you're working on right now, or what you thinking about?
Right now, my focus is creating new content, and not necessarily a project, because with the project aspect, what I'm going to do is take my best songs and put them like as a compilation, but not call it a compilation.
You're cheating.
I am cheating. Drake did it. You know what I mean? Drake did it. He released the same project twice. You know what I mean? Right, okay? He released the same project twice,
I
okay?
can do that now.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why you heard You the Fucking Best for so long, because the first version, you know what I mean, the first project, it didn't take off, and now we're going to release it again. Like, that song didn't count that time. Come on, let's get it.
Bring it back a second time. Rewind.
My plan is to try and put out 10,000 copies of my music independently each quarter.
Okay. Oh, shit. Okay.
You know what I mean? So each quarter, I'm behind for this quarter because life been kicking me in my ass. You know what I mean? So you know, I take it like a champ. I keep running with a smile on my face. So I'm behind in that aspect. But like I want to take my top songs and put them on a project. I want to put them like on a USB thumb drive, you know, like the floppy disks. Even I had a printer, but I can't get them printed because I can't get the CD printer to connect because I don't have the CD.
So you're gonna make CDs, or what are you gonna try and do? You're not gonna floppy.
I already it's like a wallet. It's like a wallet credit card.
Gotcha.
But the USB flips out of the credit card.
I know what you're talking about. I mean? Yeah. So digital. You're gonna do digital.
Yeah, digital is what the plan is gonna be now, because I had the big printer to do 100 and it'll do the picture, you know what I mean, full color, everything on it as it's burning. 100, you know what I mean, in like an hour.
I think the digital is a great idea, bro.
But I can't get it connected to my computer because I don't have the software, and they don't even make that no more. The site's down. It's old technology. So now I got to outsource and try and do it. But now it might not be 10,000 a quarter because the price just doubled, and the easiness of creating it just it got a little bit tricky. So it might be 5,000 every quarter, but at the end of the year, I probably influence 100,000 brand new ears. I'm not asking nobody to buy it. And
how you gonna get it out there?
I meet people on a regular. You know what I mean? Like I cut hair. You know what I mean? I do moving jobs. I go to the gas station. You know what I mean? I go to the liquor store and you slapping something. I'm like, hey man, you got a USB player in your car?
Yeah.
Check me out right here.
Yeah.
They be like, this me for sure. I'm like, you know what? Normally I ask for donations, but it's you, Papa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they're gonna give the donation, they're gonna give the donation. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm not selling these because the point is just to push the music out.
That's
You know what I mean?
right.
They're gonna keep this. They're gonna keep the USB. I got CDs that on a USB that I never even listened to.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because of the time that I got it and how I got it was like, bruh, at the conference, at the underground conference a couple of years back.
Right.
Bro, I have 30 CDs in my pocket, bro. I'm not an A&R. I'm an artist.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I can't digest all this music, but the other day I looked and was like, damn, I still have this
Couple
USB,
of
this USB joint. Like, and that's what made me really say, you know what, let's pull the trigger on the USB.
Have you heard of Alibaba?
Yeah, I mess with Alibaba. You know,
I was gonna say that for those thumb drives.
Yeah.
You probably get them for the LO. You know,
yeah, it's gonna be like I found them for like 66 cents to 25 cents.
Okay.
But what happens is when you go hit the order, they tell you, okay, that's just the ability to have a card. You know what I mean? Now you gotta pay us 44 cents per gigabyte, or so it'd be like $1.85.
That's a little tricky. It's a little tricky.
And then when you go ship it, it'd be like double the price. You know what I mean? Like whatever you pay per in merchandise, your shipping is usually like around that price. You know what I mean? Unless, especially if you don't hit the maximum order neither.
Right.
So now they hit you for the high price. Now they hit you for the high price.
Yeah.
So I'm right now. I'm trying to outsource that and find that in town is not gonna happen. It's way too expensive.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you know, for some reason they don't want to do it in America. So Alibaba
might be the lick.
Alibaba's the lick. So I'll have those probably within the next 30 days, depending on what the shipping is. If they say, hey, it's gonna be $300 to get it in 7 days, or $100 to get it in 30, I'm going with the 30.
So I have a question, man. 2020 was a crazy year for a lot of people. Something that we've never seen before in our lives. Something that we've never had to deal with. It was kind of crazy. How was 2020 for you as a person, as an artist, and just dealing with it, man?
Personally, 2020 was the same as every other year.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm a realist. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm not even a realist. I'm an actualist. I think about the actuality of every situation.
Yeah.
For this year, for last year, but we had a global wide thing going on. So we didn't have Europe talking about this, and if that's what you pay attention to, that's what you're listening to. You know what I mean? This is something that it went into every arena. It doesn't matter if you're a square, if you're a drug dealer, everybody had to talk about COVID. You know what I mean? So now we're sharing our energies. Now every single company has got a commercial to say, hey, we care about COVID, stay inside. Let me make my brand lovable because we made the best COVID commercial. Now every day you got COVID in your face. So it felt like now we're sharing, because social media all you got. You can't go outside. We gotta stay inside, literally stay inside. Social media is all you got. So now all day, instead of those people being at work for 9 or 8 or 10 or 12 hours out of the day, what they got to do? Flood the social media stream. So now we see people's woes. Now we see people crying all the time. So now we're sharing in that, and that's what I think made the year more worse than anything else. Because if you think about it, they sent out how many dollars in unemployment? People was trying to get fired on purpose to get their money. So they didn't miss out on money unless you own a business. It's different if you own a business, because the way that you conduct business, so many people they fail because the way they conduct business was no longer, it was outdated. Like we're not going to survive under this new model. The big businesses are still trying to figure out how to survive under these new models, and that's why they keep pushing to get laws made and exemptions and found a law. But
any place that you grow up like eating at, or restaurants or food or anything like that weren't there, that maybe have closed down where you come from or in your area?
I've always been a fan of the Holo Wall spot, so I've been used to that, so I wouldn't say that it was like something new. You know what I mean? It's just, I keep seeing that, like, damn, that used to be
Right.
It's a nail salon now?
Right. And being an entertainer, not being able to entertain, how was that?
I thought it was the perfect time. I think for me, I thought 2020 was a blessing. Like it was a time for people to really work on themselves. If you were like a raging alcoholic, right?
Yeah.
In that first month, you realized that, damn, I spend $2,000 a month on liquor. And after 3 months of being on quarantine with nowhere to get, and you looked at your bank account and you said, "Now I got extra 6 bands.
Right.
Plus they just paid me an extra amount of dollars."
Yeah.
If you was doing cocaine on a regular, and you was able to sit at home and work on you, people was making new businesses. People started selling plates, like.
So you think this was a time for people to kind of embrace themselves and kind of dig into themselves and see what the hell they were kind of dealing with inside because they couldn't go outside and deal with shit?
It showed you the real you.
Okay.
If you was a lazy person, you was a lazy person. I am a lazy person. I'm a Libra. You know what I mean? Like I stay so active to avoid being lazy. That's why I do so many things. You know what I mean? Like
that's a wait. I'd love to rewind this part of the interview. He said, "I'm a lazy person. I keep doing shit to avoid being lazy." I don't even know how the fuck that works right there.
If I'm watching TV, I get mad at myself
for watching
TV when I know that I have an apartment. Yeah. When I really want to have fucking big, beautiful drive up windows, you know what I mean? Like flip up like master.
Do you ever pull yourself out of the box and be like, "I'm not watching a fucking plastic box right now"? I do that sometimes. I'm watching TV for like 3 hours. I'm like, I was sitting in front of this wall with a plastic box, doing nothing for 3 hours.
For 3 hours.
What the fuck was
I
that?
binge watched Sons of Anarchy in like a week. All of it. A week. But
was it during quarantine?
It was before quarantine.
Okay.
But it was. I had just got fired from the last job that I had. I had got fired in 2019. At the end, and that was the last job. At the beginning of the year, I had an ability to go to work.
Gotcha.
They called me for the campaign. They was gonna pay me like almost $30 an hour to be a manager on the campaign shit.
Okay.
You know, doing signatures.
Yeah.
So they called me, and I was like, "Pick up your balls and tuck them back in your pocket." You know what I mean? This was my rich dad, poor dad moment. Right there, that was my. And I looked at my lady and I said, like, "This is my red." I told her, "Let me call you back. I'm busy right now." And then they kept calling. I kept getting messages, and they kept trying to get me to do it. Like it wasn't like just a one time I had to turn it down. But I don't know if you're familiar with Rich Dad Poor Dad, but the one part in the book where he's like, you know, how about if I offer you $2 to do the job? No, $4, $12 an hour. I give you $12 an hour. Damn. Who? This is more money than I ever made in an hour. The most I ever been paid on the clock was $23 an hour. Besides like per diem jobs, because I did construction. You know, when you do per diem jobs, they change the pay rate. It's extra money, but that's not your real pay rate. So the most I ever been paid, like no matter what, the cheapest you gotta give me is $23 an hour. It's the most I ever made. So when it was like $28 an hour, you know, my eyes was like woofing. But when I had Matt Rex, he already instilled it in my head. Like, if you really want this, you'll put 8 hours into it. I used to do sales, you know, you got to go out there and you got to work all day doing sales. And it works because you're spending 8 hours a day into doing sales. So for me, it was like, this is the time that you're either going to be a punk or grab your balls, because you're literally thinking about it. Like, you can go out there and survive. I know I'm going to survive. I did it for years, you know what I mean, without having a job. Now, it's different without the drugs, you know what I mean, to be legit, to be legit, like, you know, I can sell cocaine and be easy, but I might go to jail soon. So, you know, I started selling bags, and I started seeing success, and I was like, well, I'm gonna get my clippers, and I paid for my my barber license. Like, okay, now you're really like testing me. Okay, what do I do? And I just buckled down, bro, and I was like, I'm never going back. So I was already in that mindset. Before, this was like January, February, that I'm already putting myself in this mindset. This was like when 1 or 2 cases was popping.
So now you were almost mentally prepared for this, because you were like, you know what, this is a fucking sign.
This is a sign. Was I going to shut up or nut up. Which one was I gonna do?
Right.
And I've been thriving ever since, except for my casino woes. I got horrible casino habits ever since I was a kid.
Let's not talk about the casinos.
Let's not talk about the casinos. But I was winning.
Right.
And,
right.
And I wasn't searching for new cheese. I got lazy, and at that time, I was like, oh, I'm finna watch. I'm finna get this regardless.
Right.
This coming in regardless.
So now, how do you get by in 2021 now? Because it's kind of like a carryover from 2020. Are you still grinding out there, or what are you doing right now?
Yesterday, my buddy got a moving company.
Okay.
My buddy Maurice runs a moving company, Movers.
Okay.
Right? And me and him used to do the moving jobs together before he owned the company.
Hell yeah.
And then so ever since, he called me and be like, hey Teddy, I got a job today, can you do it?
Hell yeah.
So 2 days ago, we show up and we go do a job. It was a quick job too, easy couple dollars for a little bit of nothing. We took a trailer off and they got to pay 2-hour minimum for showing us up. So we took the trailer off, it was out. But she lives in a big ass property and it was like overgrown. So I was pulling up like, I would do this for $300. And Ben's just got me for $1,000 for a fuse box. So I was like, I'm gonna do this for $300. And she brought up that she needed her yard done. And he looked at me and was like, see? I was like, I'll do it for $300. She's like, you can do it right now. I was like,
look, let me get my shit.
Look. I didn't have time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I needed to go pick up my lady.
Right.
And,
right.
I was like, but I'll be here bright early in the morning. And we kept talking as we was doing the job. And she was like, oh, well, if you want to do the back, I'll give you double. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, right, cool. So I went and hired somebody yesterday.
Rich dad, poor dad.
You know what I mean? I went and hired somebody yesterday, so I didn't have to go for $100.
Sheesh.
For $100,
Yeah.
because I remember the real me wanted to say this is the $250. It was a $500 job.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the real me wanted to say this $250, like the hood me,
right.
the codes, the morals,
right.
But the realized me, I've been through the bullshit. I'm 32 years old. I know what time it is. I've showed up to work in construction clothes and busted my ass all day for $100, moving asphalt, digging holes at $13 an hour.
Yeah.
So look, and I explained to him, I said, I can go do this all by myself because that's what I signed myself up for. I didn't tell her I was going to go get somebody else. But on the way home, I was like, I got a homie that just got out.
Yeah.
He needs some bread. So let me put the bread in his pocket and then let him know though, like, hey bro, I'm making more than you for sure. But you ain't never showed up to a construction site and said, hey, the owner getting $1 million to put these I need $250,000, bro.
Hello.
You ain't never did that. You said, oh, $13 an hour, I'll be there.
Yeah.
And complained about it when you was tired at work.
He gave a little insight, you know what I'm saying? He didn't need to do that. That was real friendly.
Yeah, so I gave him more, actually. I gave him a couple dollars more after the job was over, but like that's the kind of blessings that I put myself into, you know what I mean? I do probably like 7 to 15 haircuts a week, you know what I mean? I might do a moving job here or there.
You got passion in the barber?
Oh yeah, man, I'm nasty with the barbering.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so nasty that sometimes I get mad, like that this ain't perfect. Like people be like, but that was a fire cut, and I'd be like, nah, it's not perfect. This doesn't look like an Instagram picture. Every time I get mad.
Gotcha. Are you doing designs and shit like that?
I have exquisite visions in my head. I can't get them onto the camera.
He said, but put him on somebody's head, that's a whole nother part.
Yeah, because learning, you know what I mean? Like learning, you're learning with somebody's head.
Oh,
so unless you got somebody that's like, hey bro, I don't care what you do.
Dude,
fuck my shit up, man. I'll cut it bald, man, and we'll try again next week. Unless you have that, then you're not gonna get it, or you have the ability to be like, oh, I'm fit to do this. Like for me, as a person with so many hats, I can't walk around with that messed up cut. I can't just tomorrow just show up bald. I got dreadlocks. You know what I mean?
This is part of the whole thing here.
This is part of the whole thing. So with people that are like, I'm a barber. So when they got messed up haircuts, they're like, I was at school. You know what I mean? I got a messed up haircut. I gave homie a messed up haircut. Pushed his line back. It's cool. It'll grow back. For me, they taking a picture and trying to catch me with my finger on my nose. You know what I mean? I'm not at that all the way at that level, but you know, you do certain things, people will be like, they'll blast you for it. So
Stay in your lane. He said, I'm doing this clean shit right here.
I'm doing this clean shit real quick, bruh.
2021, man. I like to have people come up with a goal for like 6 to 8 months. I like to kick ass and accomplish that goal. We come back, we talk about that goal in 6 to 8 months again. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What is a goal in 6 to 8 months that you would like to accomplish, my brother?
Well, I have a board at home already that has a 3, 6, and a 1, 3, and 6 month goal on it, and we're coming up like 2 months away from that.
What was that?
We're 2 months away from my 6 month goal.
Okay.
It is $5K in the bank saved.
Okay.
And a new car and then a family vacation.
Awesome.
So it's really not a 6 months away. I haven't planned that out because I'm still focusing on my current 6 month goal, which is to have the 5K saved.
Family vacation.
The family vacation and a new car. Today I've been hitting people up. I put in an application for a new car. It's not a new car, but it'll be new to me. So
hell yeah.
I got a Kia. I don't like the Kia. I got an S550. You know what I mean? It's my other car. So I want to stay in the foreign. I had the Benz before. It's something about. I'm like a real fashion connoisseur. You know what I mean? Like,
so you appreciate the foreign.
I appreciate the foreign. Yeah, I'm not getting it because I want to say I'm better than you. I don't think I'm better than you. Right. But you're gonna think I'm better than you. So that's why I'm getting it. Because when you're a rapper and you pull up and you be like, oh, I'm the dopest rapper in the world, and you pull up in a Kia, nobody respects you. When you pulled up, they already think they're just as good as you. Right. But no, soon as you pull up in that foreign.
In the S550.
And you pull up in that S550. This ain't no C300.
Right,
You know what I mean? This ain't no E500.
Right.
This the Big Daddy, bro.
Right.
Like, this is the same as the E63. The only thing is the S or the S, whatever.
The engine or some shit.
The only difference is the interior.
Oh, okay.
It's the same size. Until you get to the Maybach, they're all the same size.
Yeah.
So if you got an S550 and you got a E63 or S63, AMG, whatever, it's the same exact car. The only difference is they put the puff stitching inside, and then in the back seat it might have the recliners or something. They don't have that in the S550. But you know what I mean? Like, when you have a foreign, that's just how people treat you.
I had a Benz for about 5 years, man. And that motherfucker taxed the fuck out of me, dog. Like, every time I was in the shop, it was like, 500, 1500, 3200, you need brakes, 8500. I'm like, what the fuck?
I learned how to do most of it myself.
Oh, there you go.
But for me, like, when I had got the first one, I realized that, oh shit, my payment is the same payment that I was paying on my Grand Prix. Yeah. And I got a car that people look at me and be like, ooh wee. Yeah. But one day, it clicked to me when I was outside and I was dropping off a sack to one of the homies, and one of his buddies from work was outside with us, and he was like talking, and he happens to work at a place that one of the OG homies works at too. So now we getting cool. Now he thinks he's in there. So he's like, hey man, I can get you a job, man. Just come on down there, man. I'll get you in. I'm like, I'm good, Papa. You know what I mean? He's like, don't be proud, man. Don't fuck that shit, man. What are you doing right now with your life? I'm like, man, I'm good, Papa. You know what I mean? I'm like, but it's time for me to go. So now everybody like, fuck it, we finna go back inside the bar. I walk. Now my car's parked in between where we're at and the bar. So they gotta keep going when I stop. Right. And when I stopped and he looked at me get in the car, he was like, this your car? Yeah, this me. And he like, oh, okay, my bad, Papa. I didn't even mean to offend you. I just thought you was being on that dumb shit. It was like, it was a white dude. He didn't back down. Like, he showed his respect. Like, oh, my bad. Like, I see you taking care of yourself. You don't need to come into the job. You're not just trying to be proud and say, oh, I don't need a job. It's like, no, you taking care of yourself. But the way that he looked was like, oh shit, I fucked up. I'm rebound real quick. But the immediate look on his face was like, and right after that, I went downtown. I parked on a corner, and a bro hopped in my car.
Oh shit!
No lie, hopped in my shit, right in my shit. Said hello. Like, oh shit, I never had this happen before.
This never happened in the Kia.
This never happened in the Kia. And now look, I like Gucci shoes because they form fit. You know, like people like foam posits. like basketball players or don't
Right.
like them because they're heavy, but people that like shoes that like it fits to your foot. You know what I
Right.
mean? The Roshis, like when you wear it, like
Right.
they glove, they do this and they do
Right.
that. Like that's a real person that's an enthusiast of the shoe.
Right.
Other people are like, oh, it's a $400 shoe. I'm gonna make it cool.
Right.
Oh, these shoes have spikes on the front, like the Giuseppe's and shit. You know what I mean? But other people are like, each one is handcrafted. It's made with this kind of this, and it's this that. That's a person that I'm like that with forms.
Gotcha. That's your intrigue. I got a question, man. 2021, you said you're going to put out the project with all of your compilation. You're gonna kind of bring it back. What's that project gonna be called?
That project is gonna be called The Way to the Crown.
Way to the Crown.
The Way to the Crown. So my partner that I do the music with, he accidentally released some shit with the we had like an early draft and he was trying to be productive one day and he leaked it.
Yeah.
So but this one's gonna be reconstructed
Okay.
and I'm not gonna take it down
Okay.
because a lot of the songs on there they was just republished.
Gotcha.
They're still the same original songs, but it just become fresh. Like so if I shared it would be like, oh, this came out on this day, even though it's the same numbers.
Gotcha.
But that'll come out within the next couple weeks, bro.
Okay.
That's coming in the next couple weeks.
Anybody you want to give a shout out to, man? That you want to say hi to? You know.
I don't think I got to shout out anybody because through this conversation we done talked about pretty much everybody that came out.
Yeah.
It was important. If not, like people got to understand.
Who's your business partner? Are you on a label?
That's Act Right. You know what I mean?
Act
My partner Act Right.
Is that a label or what you guys doing?
It's a label.
What's the name?
At first, it's called Act Right Music Group.
Okay.
We call him Act Right. So he signed me as an artist originally. He believed in me a couple years
He's
back.
had a lot of faith in you.
And he just kept rocking with me, like put his last dollars into our business. You know what I mean?
He hit me up 2 years ago about you, and he was in my ear about some shit, and it was more about business than anything and stuff. But he was just I could hear his passion about you and how he's trying to push your thing. And I was like, I like that guy, so I'm glad that you're doing that. I just can't do what you're doing right now. You do that, and then I'll do me. But it's good to have somebody have your back like that, man, and have somebody that's like that. Because as an independent artist, doing it all yourself could be fucking pain in the ass sometimes. So
we suck at doing some of the jobs, and that's our problem. Is that we just need to connect with. But recently, like Tone came into our lives, the videographer, you feel me, and he's willing to help. You know, I helped build him. You feel me? Like, you know what I mean? Like he like, hey bro, I'm not charging you to pull up and take photos, but instead of just trying to take photos, I'm like, hey bro, let me see your camera real quick so I can take pictures of you. You feel me? So you can have some shit that you can go home and be like, this was the night I was doing this.
I was working. I still got some shit for me.
And I got some shit for me. So now it's like a photo shoot for the both of us to wash each other's hands. And my brother Legend just been kicking ass this whole time. You know what I mean, with the clothing line. So we've been able to stay in each other's ears and keep each other sharp. So my team is just finally getting back to what it was when we was at Honest Swag. We've had people that played every part.
Are these people from Honest Swag or just?
No, this is a whole new group of people. You know what I mean? Like, there's no love lost between us and Honest Swag, but we just went our ways.
Yeah,
we just started having different values, and my branch went apart. We was roots, and then and we grew up through the tree together, and we got the important rings together. The wins, they're memorable. And now my own branch, they will always link back to they're going to forever be a part of my story. Still tattooed on my neck. ISNMK.
You started off the next story with them. Yeah. So for sure, man.
Like they're like really one of the most beneficial parts of my music career. Where I really learned how to, like I said, I was on the East Coast. I came back like rapping, like everything had to be like, you could be a dirty, dingy rapper, you know what I mean? This is real bars, this is real hip hop, you know what I mean? Like, and then I realized like, hey bro, you wanna rap in your garage? They told me you wanna rap in your garage? That's cool, don't do it here, bro. You know what I mean? If that's what you wanna do, because over here we making hits, bro. This is how you make a hit, and I learned how to make a hit. Like, man, these are the different patterns, these are the sections, and I started listening and learning like, that's what makes a good song good. It's not just bars. People don't listen to bars for bars all day. They listen to songs. So I learned how to make a song. That's why they're like, besides the rest of the things that happen in life, like they're like one of the most, like Teddy, that's weak.
Yeah, they don't tell you the word.
That's weak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got in the battle, it's like, hey bro, you lost. Like you from the camp, you made us look bad. Like, nah, oh, yours is better than him. They tripping. Like, nah, bro, you lost. You know what I mean? Like, they was real. Like, so.
It's good, man. Good to have people like that in your corner, man. Well, fuck. I appreciate your time, Teddy Benson.
Yes,
I appreciate your knowledge, you know what I'm saying, and blessing us with a little bit of you, you know. And we're gonna talk to you about 6 to 8 months about your first goal. Then we're gonna talk about another goal. You feel me?
Yes, I.
All right, brother.
Blessings.